BoLS fans, and I am back at the Gale Force 9 booth, and we're talking to Dave, and Dave is going to walk us through some of the basic gameplay mechanics of Star Trek Ascendancy. So you've seen the box, we already gave you kind of a quick taste of it. Now we're going to actually walk you through some of the gameplay mechanics, just a turn or two, so you can get the basics. And alrighty.
All right.
What do we got?
Well, what we do right now is we start you off right now with the production research culture, 2 ships, and Earth. Okay. Your home planet always has its full allotment of buildings.
Okay.
Obviously, because you're just now entering the stars. You start off with 5 command tokens, and you'll learn how that works in just a little bit.
Sure.
Your first phase is going to be the building phase.
Okay.
In which you will utilize some of your tokens to build different items that you might want. A ship is worth 1 production token. If you wanted to build another production node on another planet, it would be worth 2, and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
So what you can see right down here is you may add research to tokens or advancement projects, that sort of thing. It's going to be very fast on the first turn because you don't really have a whole lot to do unless you want to build ships.
Okay, so let's give me an example of what.
All right, so you can just say, I want to build a ship, so you would spend 1 production, put it over here.
Okay,
and
so
put 1 ship.
So I spend my production token.
Yep, and you can put a ship on either your home planet, wherever there's a star base.
Okay.
Which you'll build later on in the game when you play the actual demo
Sure,
game.
I gotcha. Okay.
Once building phase is over, you go over to
flip it over.
the command phase.
Nice. Okay.
This is where the nuts and bolts. This is where you're going to start moving and shaking and that sort of thing. So you have the choice to either move, pretty much absorb an alien culture if you find one, invade a system, initiate a space battle, launch projects, or commission a starbase.
Okay. I want to move.
You want to move. All right. So you're going to flip 1 token over, 1 command token over to exhausted, and that sends one of your ships into what we call warp.
Okay.
Okay. Now you roll one of these dice.
Okay. I noticed there's.
Yep.
These things have different
lengths.
lengths.
Different warp lanes.
A 3.
So you're looking for a 3 warp lane.
Oh, gotcha.
And you can put this wherever you want around Earth.
Okay, I got that. Okay, so I'll put it in that direction towards the camera.
That's right. And so he's down at the end of the warp lane.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now to come out of warp, it takes a 2nd order token.
Okay.
Command token.
Okay, so I'll come out of warp.
Yep. And now you pick a planet.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
I've already shuffled them, but you usually just draw off the top. Okay. And you flip it over. Yep, unexplored. You flip it over.
Uh-oh, what do we have here?
Tau Sigma 5.
All right.
All right. Now it is a hazard.
Okay.
So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to roll a die.
Okay.
Okay. If you roll a 6, your ship is destroyed.
Well, all right. Here we go. Here we go, Internet.
No, you're safe.
All right, we're good.
Now what we do is we draw a exploration card.
Okay.
Okay. So draw the top exploration card. That's what happens to this planet. There's a pre-warp level 0 civilization.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Okay.
I'm really liking how this feels already.
You place 2 production tokens on this.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
All right. On the system, marking it as inhabited by a pre-warp independent civilization.
Okay. The first player to colonize claims the tokens.
Exactly. So what you would have to do is you have to colonize the planet. However, as the Federation, you have the prime directive.
You may never invade planets or colonize pre-warp.
So this is something
we just have to. I bet the Klingons don't have that restriction.
No. However, now you're going to have. If you were playing in a 3-player game, you would kind of make it your mission, as the Federation would, to protect this planet. Because since you can't colonize it, you don't want anybody else colonizing it one step away from Earth.
Okay.
So, and of course, if they do come in and conquer it, then you'd have to, of course, take it back.
That's 2 tokens.
That's
so
2 tokens.
What else can you do?
Well,
so give me examples.
What you can do is you can commission or launch a research project.
Okay.
So spend a command token.
Okay, we're gonna go with that guy.
You take the top 2 advancements off the deck.
2.
Yep.
Okay. Flip them over.
And now you can choose 1.
All right. So
you can
I have.
choose however many research projects as you have research stations.
All right. So I have I'm going to go with the Cochrane Institute because that increases my ship's impulse speed by 1.
There you go.
And I just keep that kind of over somewhere in my area.
Yep.
And that goes back onto the deck.
And of course, if you were playing a multiple player game, you'd have this face down in front of you.
Oh, okay.
So they wouldn't know what.
Okay, I get you.
Because some of them are kind of cool, where you'd pop out a Genesis planet or something like that.
Oh, so, very cool. Okay. So
you don't want them to know what's coming up because they may attack you before you get that ability.
Very nice.
Until you use it, is that?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. Now, you still have 2 command tokens left.
Sure.
What else can you do?
I can commission a Starfleet base.
You can. Or you can go exploring again.
Okay, that's true. Let's go with that. We'll take
the question is, Do you want to travel from Tau Cygni 5?
Right.
Or do you want to come from Earth?
I want to go in a different direction.
Okay, that's fine.
So we're going to go with that.
Yep, roll the die.
Here we go. Let's see if we get what size lane we get. A 2.
So you get a short one.
So it's a short one.
Yep.
Okay. Put that somewhere.
All right.
Bring
your
move that
ship to
over
the
there.
end.
Gotcha. And then I'm going to use my last command token, and let's explore it.
Okay, flip it.
All right, here we go. Terra Nova.
Terra Nova, all right.
Nothing special.
All right, so now pick an exploration card.
All right, here we go. Where no one has gone before, you discover an untouched planet perfect for colonization, a virgin world.
There you go.
All right. And then my turn would be over, it would go to the next turn.
Correct.
Right, because then we're going to have...
Exactly.
And it's how many players kind of by default in this game? 3, I believe?
There's 3 right now.
There's 3 cultures.
Correct, but the Cardassians are coming up. Cardassians.
Very cool. Yeah, we saw their miniatures
and then the Ferengi are right behind it. So this can be a 5-player game.
Oh, I really want to see what this card looks like for the Cardassians. I bet it's pretty different.
It's actually right there in the screen. You can take a picture of it in just a little bit. But now we go into the fun part.
Okay.
Now we can do a second turn. So you have 1 production of each.
Okay.
So you get a production, you get a research,
okay,
and you get a culture.
Okay.
Okay. So now you actually can build stuff if you want to.
Okay.
All right. So you can build starships, production nodes. You don't have anything here, but you do have a colonize. So for spending a culture,
okay,
and a ship, you can then colonize this planet.
Okay. Let's do that.
All right. All right. So now you have the new colony.
Okay.
You also have 2 production right now. So you could put a production node, a research node, or a culture node here. See, these are color coded.
Yep.
There are planets that are black.
Right,
which are anything that you want.
So you can have 2 production nodes. Okay, I get it. That's a very cool. Right. So you use both of those, and then that builds me a production node.
Production node.
And that just goes right there. That is pretty.
Oh, these are refreshed, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
Very cool.
Anything else? Well, actually, you spend all your production for this turn.
Yep.
That's fine. You can add a research to your advancement.
Oh, that's true.
So every turn you put 1 on there. There are also space hazards out there that you can go and you can explore, and you get free research that way that you can then add to your advancements to kind of accelerate the research.
Very, very cool. What's kind of average gameplay length for this?
We have finished it in about 3 lunch periods, which is about 2 hours of game time.
Okay. Sounds awesome.
For a 3-player game, for a 4-player game, I would say probably about 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay.
If you're going
this
slow,
board can start to get really large. And
it
very
can get really
cool.
large.
And
However,
it's different every game.
Exactly.
That's very
but
cool.
Also, it compresses to whatever your playstyle is. Because you see, when you're exploring now, these are what I call lollipops. Okay. You can now switch these around. You can change the map however you want and actually go out from this direction now.
Okay.
Right. So suddenly, Tau Cygni from being up here is all the way in the back now.
Okay.
So you're protecting that. You're changing the map because if the Romulans are over here, it's going to be harder for them to get than if Tau Cygni is sitting out here in the front.
I get you.
Okay. And until there's a second warp lane and planet going off the system, it can be moved around like that at any time. So you can move it around. You could put out another planet all the way over here.
Can they eventually tie into each other?
They can absolutely tie into one another.
Yeah, like how does that work? Like if you have guys, like if your board looks like that,
right?
How does this connection happen?
Well, it's just like exploring.
Okay, so you would just say you'd be here and say, I want to go to that system.
You'd roll that,
and then you know how long.
And then
okay, I get
how long it is.
Oh, that's
you
very
tie it together with a warp
okay.
plane, and suddenly you can go around.
That's very cool.
Also, another tactic is each one of these planets has a certain number here at the bottom. That's the number of warp lanes maximum you can have going off of it.
Okay.
So you can actually close systems off and create a border.
Right.
To stop people from getting in from that area. I actually blocked the Klingons into a corner one game by doing that along my border. So he couldn't send any warp lanes in.
Well, this is a fantastic sounding game. Thank you so much for demoing it for us.
You're very welcome.
Star Trek Ascendancy, everybody. And we'll have a lot more from GenCon in the days ahead.